You are listening to another Third Coast Nerds podcast. Think about it. Throw any object straight up in the air, and technically it's a boomerang.
Nice. Gravity.
Now I want to convince people to do that. Just
stand right there and throw it straight up. See what happens.
I made that, but still in my head. JaVale McGee.
Oh, yeah.
that's pretty bad.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I didn't realize that video was going to be that long when I said search for JaVale McGee Shaq a Fool on YouTube.
Yeah, it was 8 minutes long. And his name was said probably 400 times. JaVale McGee!
That adds to it, though.
It'd be better if his name was Jaweedle.
Jaweedle
McGee.
Well, according to Computer Voice, it's Javelin. JaVale McGee. He's like Magellan. But Javelin McGee.
Oh.
This is a bad start already.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is going to be the I don't know. Can't think straight. Comicpalooza in a couple of days.
Comicpalooza pre-show cast.
Yeah, Comicpalooza tomorrow.
Yeah. It felt great today when I logged off my computer at 4, and I didn't have to go back till next Monday.
Yeah.
Although, you guys saw the city council voting or saying that this is like Comicpalooza days. Y'all saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that too.
So which one comes first? Like, which one has priority? Father's Day or Comicpalooza Day?
Oh, so they voted for Sunday to be Comicpalooza Day?
It was like 17 through 19, I thought.
Yeah, it's multiple days.
So 17, 18, 19.
So they're never taking back
and yeah,
Memorial
does that
Day.
mean that they're going to stick to this weekend from now on?
They can't. They can't. I mean, Memorial Day is such a great weekend for this convention.
You know, I'm 50-50 on it. I enjoyed going to Austin and throwing discs in the woods and going to 6th Street on the second half of Memorial Day. And, 4-day weekends.
Because you can't let a shit show like Space City, if it even happens again, hold a golden weekend like that.
Well, I mean, the reason they didn't do it was because George R. Brown had already been
by Microsoft.
reserved by Microsoft like 6 years in advance. So they just moved it up. I was hoping they went back to it, but I really don't mind if I get one of my 4-day weekends back.
Yeah.
Although I miss having 4 days of stuff to do at Comicpalooza.
Yeah.
So.
I did like the 4 days because you could spread it out. They'd duplicate some stuff.
Exactly.
And that way you could actually catch things that were at the same time. So, I mean, that was one of the good things. It was a very rare instance that you had something better for both of the
well, and we still ran into that. I mean, there were a number of things where luckily each of us had a recording of that we could,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm going to talk to someone and find out if that's the plan. Usually with press, we get to sit there and talk to the organizers quite a bit, so maybe they'll know something.
Can only hope. But, yeah, as it stands, I'm only going Saturday.
Same.
I will be there all 3 days like a trooper.
I didn't have the vacation for Friday because I spent a lot of that this year.
Yeah, I'm working tomorrow as well.
So I'm not going up there for like an hour or two.
I've got 23 vacation days left between now and the end of the year. So
yeah, I only have 8.
Yeah.
And 3 of those are reserved to have like the 2 weeks off at the end of the year.
3? Do you have 2 weeks off?
Yeah. You throw it right there in all those holidays, and you're just like,
Yeah.
what? And then that 1 week's just for like an emergency between now and then, or just like I need another week off. So we'll see how I feel after my vacation in July, and then be like, well, September, give me a week, or maybe take a week off in August for my birthday. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all 3 days. I actually need to see if the website tells me what I was going to sign up for on here, because I'd already gone through and favorited all the stuff I planned on going to. So
yeah, I'm going to roam around. I want to run around different panels and see what goes on. I want to check out, you're doing a game demo.
I am.
For your MIB submission.
Yep.
You'll be doing Marvel Munchkin.
Yeah, that should be fun. I played the game twice.
Yeah. My girlfriend owns it, and we've opened the box once, and we've never actually played it.
I played it one time pretty early in the day at Space City Comic-Con, and then the second time with the group of us, pretty much our group played it.
Yeah.
But I like it significantly more than some of the other ones. Star Munchkin's always pretty high for me. Steampunk actually was better than I expected it to be. But Marvel, I mean, I play a lot of Legendary, so I see a lot of Marvel characters in that game, which I will be bringing to Comicpalooza. I think you should bring the other one,
the villains
one. I haven't played that yet.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest thing. Is I'm just because I have a Dynamo game that night, which they're coordinating with Comicpalooza, so there's going to be a lot of people dressed up and stuff because it's Star Wars night at Dynamo.
Oh, nice!
And it's just right across the street, so I'm expecting that to be fun. I'm like huge Dynamo crowd, so I want to see how that is.
Do you have a Star Wars shirt to wear?
Yeah. I'm wearing one.
No one can see that because of your computer screen.
Oh,
but
so sad.
But that one smells.
The computer screen?
No,
it's not
the
a
shirt you're
scratch
currently
and sniff.
wearing.
It won't by the time. Well, maybe. I got a few more.
The longer I wear it, the better it smells.
Well,
I'll be fine by tomorrow.
Do you want me to smell like a really good Star Wars fan, or just like a poser? So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And then Sunday, I was like, I'm not really feeling a 3-day con or even a 2-day con, so I'm just hitting the 1 day. The best.
I only got 2 days in at Space City. Friday, they kicked us out of the game room at 8:30.
Yeah, I was there.
And then Saturday, I ended up leaving after we played that game of Marvel Munchkin that took an hour and a half longer than it should have.
Yeah.
And went to Austin. So
I
split that one up. So this one I'm gonna stay in.
On Sunday, I had fun at Space City because I went game room.
Yeah.
And played Legendary because I bought that the night before.
Yeah.
Right after you left.
You bought the full game and the other one, right?
Yeah, but both full games. So Villains is its own game.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any expansions for that one yet.
I don't know, but the only thing that may happen at this con is if I'm playing upstairs some Legendary, and then I'm like, you know what, I want to add an expansion. Like that's the extent of what I'm seeing.
I have all the expansions but 2 now. So if there's any expansion you're interested in, you can thumb through it, or we can play it.
I got to catch them all.
It's not easy.
Womp, womp, womp.
And I may be looking for the new Dominion expansion. By the way, the big box I got at Space City Comic-Con has another expansion in it called Prosperity. When we played here on air, if you remember, like the most expensive card we had out there would cost $5. It was the bottom row. We had our 2, 3, 4s, and then 5s. When we played it last week or the week before, I don't remember. I don't understand time anymore. But, we went around the room and everyone picked 2. And then we picked we opted against a counterspell card. And we ended up with 4 attack cards. And the third cheapest card that we could buy was worth $5. So there's a lot of expensive ones, but there's some cool mechanics where you can loan cards to yourself for your next turn and some other cool stuff. So I may get an expansion of that as well. Although I only do it to support the local places. I try to buy it from one of the ones that also has a storefront near us, because otherwise Amazon just beats everyone in price unless you talk them down.
Yeah. Well, that's normally what I do is I'll tell them is like I'd rather support a local place. Like I went to this last weekend. I went to 8th Dimension at their new location.
How'd you like it?
That place is awesome.
Take any pictures?
We need one of those on this side of town.
Womp, womp.
But I bought a new game there. I haven't played yet, but we got Gloom.
Okay.
What is it? The Fairy Tales one. So I mean, like I do what I normally do. We're sitting there and we were looking at that one, so I pull it up on Amazon and I'm like, I could have it in 2 days for like $3. I think it was $3 or $5 less. But I was like, no. I mean, it's the first time I've made it to this comic book shop. I like to support them at least the first time I go. Normally, I'll buy something every time I go just because it feels right. So I went ahead and got it there because it's just one of those things. But they had a huge game selection. A lot of ones I didn't like. The ones I was looking for weren't there. So I started asking. They're like, oh yeah, we had a huge sale 2 days ago. We're at almost 0 stock, and I was like, "That's what 0 stock looks like." Y'all need to open up in the Woodlands.
Nice.
So their game section is really nice, and I like how they have their game room separate from the main floor.
That's what I really liked when we went to San Antonio.
Yeah,
that
it's
had
more like
all
that.
the separate game rooms around.
Yeah.
That's in my design if I ever have enough money to open a shop.
So they one thing they did better than the ones in San Antonio. So you walk in and you have like your figurines. You have like the one like fandom to the left, and then you have like they separate them very well. Plenty of room. And then it's a separate room for their game room, and they have a shelf like you would have at a con with a bunch of games on it.
Yeah.
You can walk in and go play any of those games anytime.
Okay, nice.
So most game shops, you're like, no, you can buy it, and then you can play it here. They're like, there's 100 games. Pick one, try it out, see if you like it before you buy it.
That's pretty cool.
I mean,
and that's what I do like about Etten. They usually have games you can try in store.
Well, I think that's just because they always have like dedicated gamers there with like 10 to 15
definitely.
games on them each. So they don't have like a shelf for them. There's just a bunch of people with, hey, I'm going to hang out at the comic store and take like 15 games just to see if anyone wants to play.
Yeah.
So, but I liked it. It was a good place.
I guess you don't have any game conversation since you got a game that you hadn't even played in like a week now.
I'm brand new.
You're playing Tetris right now, aren't you?
No, I'm actually, I was actually browsing. I was browsing Amazon to see if there was anything Adam Kubert hardcover to find, but there's not. I mean,
can you get that 2 days by Saturday right now?
It can be here by Saturday, but I'll be gone by the time it gets to the house. So I'm not going to stick around the house and wait for it to show up. But it's more like I scoping out, see if it's there, and then browse the con to see if it's at someone's table.
The two best places before going to a con, and actually, you may want to contact them prior. Like Bedrock City is usually one of the best places for hardcovers, and DNA over here.
Well, there's nothing with him nothing with him by himself. There's no collection by himself. Like he jumped on, the Kubert brothers kind of jumped on the X-Men books when the Image exodus happened.
Okay.
So they were kind of thrown in the middle of storylines. So there's not like a real
that was them
start to their run on the books.
Okay. Yeah, because I did that last time when I was trying to get just something for a number of the comic artists that were here a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And both DNA and Bedrock City brought something from in store and brought it to the con for me.
Yeah.
And I just went and picked it up. So there's options because we were talking with Etten trying to buy games. Like I don't have it here right now, but I can have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
well, that's one of the things I liked about that. What was it? The Raging Goat.
Yeah.
They had they're like. Not only would they say whether they had it or not, they're like, oh, you can just call me, I'll deliver it to your house or whatever. But they also were like, if you want something, I'll order it for you, and you still get the 35 or 40% discount. Because their whole thing is they want people to enjoy the games. So they're like, we're buying them at this cost. They have less of a markup because they don't have a store yet. Yeah. So and they're planning it to when they do have the store that they can still keep that that markup down. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just hoping it's close enough.
Yeah.
So, because they're very comparable to Amazon prices, I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a couple places down too. Essentially, Amazon prices are like $5 more. Like I got your Boss Monster 2 for expansion for Amazon price essentially.
No, you got it for like a third of the Amazon price because you bought an entire set of something.
Well, the bad thing was I wasn't the person in our group that spent the most money there.
Yeah.
Corey got
just
a bunch
there,
of Pathfinder books, dude.
You should have stood there when he was doing all that and been like,
I did.
No. You should have just been like, throw that in for free, like I do for fireworks.
Yeah.
No. I'm buying a big bunch, but I want that row for free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's light on artists. I'm going to pull a few copies of Wolverine that I have for Kubert to sign. And other than that, I'm not really doing much of anything. There's some interesting panels, but they kind of overlap. I would really be into seeing the Kubert. So the Kubert family has had like a school of graphic art, comic book art, for decades. And they're going to do a panel at 2:30, but that overlaps with the Aliens panel that's happening at 2. So I'm going to go see the Aliens panel.
See, same thing happened to me. Tara Reid and George are at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know which one to go to.
You know which one to pick. George.
Yeah.
Sadly, George.
Only if you can go find like a bunch of claw machine style sharks. And dress in a gray robe with sharks attached all over you, and spin.
Yeah,
don't go to the Q&A. Don't ask a question. Just walk up to the mic and spin.
Dude, I would spin for like 30 seconds and then fall over. Like it would be horrible. And I'm gonna spin slow, so they're like, "What are you doing?"
Let's take me back to us playing the virtual reality. Thing from Microsoft was the Vimo or whatever it's called. I was playing that yesterday, and I'm apparently a master Jedi when it comes to fighting a a robotic ball.
But you look like Star Wars kid. I bet money you look like Star Wars kid.
And I can't tell because like it is actually really badass. It's you can see everything around you and like you get too close. The only problem is my feet strides are longer than like holding the controllers.
Yeah.
When the controllers hit a range, a grid comes up on your screen, so you know to not walk any more forward. Well, my foot would hit the couch, and then the grid would come up. I'm like, thanks, grid. Like, wait up. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know I'm in a confined space. I'm just like, I'm just gonna try not to move. And luckily, once I get the game set up, it's not much moving other than your arms flailing about like a little girl.
Yeah.
Because they're just shooting you with like phasers, pretty much. It's like a portal ball.
Yeah.
That floats and shoots you phasers, and you just hit it back at them. So I started rookie, went all the way to legendary. Yeah, 98% success rate, and I killed him 5 times. Nice. I shot it right back at him. It's actually more accurate if you ever get to play. It's more accurate instead of like they do it in the movies where they're always like swinging it back and doing all that. It never goes to where it needs to go that way. You actually have to poke it like this. So you hit it with the tip of the lightsaber, and you can aim it better to go right back. So just a little tip for anyone that's going to try that.
A little tip. Literally,
yep. just the tip.
Just the tip. You hit it with you hit it with the tip. Just the tip.
So Friday at 5:30, there's a panel that you actually may be interested in.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Starting a makerspace panel.
Yeah, I saw that. They had the same thing last year.
Did you go listen?
No, I didn't go listen. But there's a maker room. There's several of them around Houston. There's one in Conroe. There's one in Humble. So there's a lot of spaces around just to contact and get information about. Starting one, I got a garage, so it's just a matter of getting everything back in it.
Yeah. Hence the earlier Tetris.
Yeah.
Comment.
Yeah.
Because moving's a bitch. It's like playing Tetris.
Yeah, I still have my entire wood shop left to move. So there's all that.
Yeah, I want to get me a 3D printer.
I thought you bought one already.
No, remember, because we all bought one because it was cheap. You just had to assemble it yourself, and then it was a scam. So the company
it turned out to be a scam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Because you even tried it as well, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
There were like 9 of you that bought $99 printers, and I was like, well, y'all figure that shit out. Let me know, and I might get one.
Yeah.
Well, no,
and then no one said anything about it, and I figured they were just in y'all's closets.
No, so they have it's like a day sale on the site. I can't remember the name of the site. Wow.
Wine's kicking in.
So and you look at the site, and it like they're very good at protecting the buyer, not the seller. So I was like, so I'm looking into it. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling kind of good about this. And then Chad's like, well, we're protected, so I'm buying. I was like, well, obviously, if Chad's going in on it, then it's been checked deeper than I was going to check.
It was like 30 of us, not just the Tech Minds group, but it was other people I knew as well.
Because as soon as Tony sent it to us, you started like, oh, I got 5 people buying. Before you even decided
Kenneth
to buy.
Sent it to me. Kenneth's the one that sent it to me.
I thought Tony's the one that sent it to us. No, that was the other one for 175.
Yeah,
probably. That was after the fact that no one wanted to buy because we're like, last time it was shady and I'm not paying 175. I had to put it together.
Yeah.
So speaking of, let's see how much they are right now.
But it's not. You can get there's printers on the market now. You can always just browse Craigslist and get a printer for super cheap now.
$300 for ThingMaker 3D.
Well, it's just a matter of browse and make sure there's a forum with people who are really dedicated to that machine, so they figured out all the bugs.
It's the same thing you do when you buy a cell phone.
Yeah, you want to make
sure that there's some people that are going to hack it for you. Then you just go read what they tell you to do.
Because no one else, once you buy it, the company, by the time you buy it, the company may not exist anymore.
Well, that's why I'm thinking about going to the main company like MakerBot or something like that, because that one has like the best support right now. There's a billion forums. Like, I've needed stuff 3D printed. I go on the forums to find so I can give it to a friend to print. And so I'm like, hey, did this work in this model because you had it listed wrong? They're like, what's your address? I'll print you some. So I have the feet to my G15 keyboard in bright pink.
Nice.
And I sit there and I just needed one. I was like, well, 2 to make it even because they're going to be a little bit different. And he's like, okay. And he sends me like 6 pink ones. And I'm like, yes. It's like, this is awesome. So... yeah, I mean the community for MakerBot, I like. So.
It's kind of the same thing I found for mine as well. I'm happy to say that I've actually found a lot of useful information on the forums for that one. And it's just it can be so unbelievably frustrating to try to troubleshoot one of these things.
Yeah. Well, and so I was talking to Tony yesterday, because I went to the Dynamo Open Cup last night. And so one thing, he's had his for, 3 years now? Something like that. Like he has like the second version of MakerBot, whenever that was.
Yeah.
He's a very early adopter when it comes to things.
Yeah.
Which is why he already has a Vimeo virtual reality and an Oculus Rift.
He was looking to get a Glowforge as well. He was wanting to see
Yeah.
if anybody else wanted to go in on the Glowforge.
But so he found it. He was sitting there and he's like, so I figured out the better the filament, the less you have to fiddle with it.
Oh yeah.
So if he gets the main colors instead of like the specialty colors and all that, he's like, it'll run for 8 hours straight. I don't have to touch it. He's like, but as soon as I use this one, like it's a really cool like metallic looking one.
Yeah.
He's like 15 minutes and I'm recalibrating.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, I'm printing everything in like black and white. Like you're gonna paint pretty much everything. So
yeah. Yeah. So far it's been great. I haven't moved the printer over to the new house because I'm still getting the office built. But I'm a tinkerer anyway, so once I had that in my hands, once I had a finished printer in my hands and I actually got it working, it's one of those things that clicks in my head. Like I immediately knew I could build a better one. Like you deal with some of the short, like the way they kind of cut corners on a lot of parts and stuff like that. Like I knew looking at it that a better one is way, way, way easy to achieve. Like once you actually see the mechanics of it, you're like, oh, that's easy as hell to build. So there's a forum or there's a website called Open Builds, and you can order this V-slot track from them, and they have everything from full on 4-foot by 8-foot CNC tables to 3D printers of any type that you want, and you can basically it's an open community, so they just manufacture the track, the wheels, everything else. It's up to the community to come up with ways to use it.
a 3D printed 3D printer.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, one of the first things you do when you buy like a CNC table is you make better parts for the better CNC table. It's kind of the same thing too with like 3D printers. Like one of the first things I printed was like a cable chain, feet to elevate it so I get more cooling out of the whole thing. So I mean, there's one of the first things you do is print parts to improve it.
Yeah, the first thing because I was looking at Tony's yesterday because I've been thinking about it for the last few weeks, and last night I was just like, I need one of those because he was printing something. And I was like, while we're there, I finished playing with the virtual reality, and he goes over and he's like, oh, it's done, and it lowers, and he, pops it off with his little scraper thing, and he does like a quick touch up. He walks over there and he has a brand new stand for like all of his electronics where it's like nice. And I'm like, yeah, I need one of those. It's like, you just come with an idea and you're like, and then find one, modify it, and then print, and then a few hours later, like, hey, that shit's organized.
Yeah.
So
That's faster than Amazon shipping.
yeah, well, it depends on if you're in the now area or not.
I'm not.
But the 3D printers are less limited.
Yeah.
So-
For someone like me that's done CAD practically their entire life, I don't know why. Like, Monkey tried to convince me to buy one of these things way, way early on. And I was like, his whole thing was like, dude, I made a soap holder. And I'm like, I just go to the friggin' dollar store and buy a soap holder. It's $1. Like, why would I spend 4 hours printing out a soap holder when I could just go there and buy one in 25 minutes? It's like, how much soap holder?
How much electricity does it use to print a soap holder versus the Dollar General soap holder for $1?
Yeah. So it was those arguments I didn't quite understand. But then when we got to the point where he started printing out frames for drones, that's where I was like, and then I started designing frames for drones that he was printing out. I'm like, oh, now I see. Like, it all came together like, oh, I can do that with it. That's awesome.
It's just when you first get it, you're like, I need to print something. I don't like that bamboo thing holding my silverware. I'm just going to print one of those. Just like everything in Tony's apartment was 3D printed for like a year.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't sit on a 3D printed chair and break it. I mean,
And
very close.
It's small parts that if you break something like that's part of a molded part, you can kind of get around. Like if you just grind away. Like I did this. It was for a laptop repair. I did this. There was a bung that holds a threaded insert that had broken.
Yeah.
And so I ground that whole thing away, glued a whole solid piece into it with epoxy, and then inserted one of those press fit brass bungs in there again.
Yep,
and
bungs.
rock solid. Like that thing's not going to go. That thing's not going to budge.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, see, and I have the 3D doodler, so the freehand 3D printer.
Yeah.
So it's like I can print something and then
It's
Doodle.
basically it's a hot glue gun for plastic. That's really all it is.
yeah, but it's fucking awesome because it's a doodler.
Yeah, but it's
Doodler.
basically you just make a mess with plastic. That's all you do.
I want people to have to use an Etch-a-Sketch to design what they want to print with a 3D printer. This is a competition we need to have. We need to have like 5 3D printers set up and 5 Etch-a-Sketches. that somehow
No.
control the 3D printer.
Wait,
No, even better.
Is this
even
the
better.
thing? If 1,000 monkeys set at 1,000 Etch-a-Sketches.
So I have even better. So you have people that know CAD like Chad, that no schooling, all self-taught. So you have 4 of those lined up, ready to do that with their 3D printer, there. And then you have 4 kids with Etch-a-Sketches, and whatever those kids put on those Etch-a-Sketches, they have to print.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because as soon as they start like fiddling and they start printing, that kid's just going to shake it up and start over, and they're going to be like, no.
Yeah, the problem, it's a big problem with like 2D things because you can't define internal volume or depth with it. Yeah. So you definitely need to have, and another thing too with 3D printing is it has to be a solid object. So a lot of things you run into when you're working with CAD, especially with complex shapes and like weird fillets and radiuses and stuff like that, you'll get sections where the polygon mesh doesn't close. So you'll have like this little hole in the mesh somewhere. You export that to the format that the slicer can read. The slicer is the program that defines the toolpath for the 3D printer.
Yeah.
You export it, but it's a hollow object, so it thinks it has to print both spaces. So the walls are microscopically thin, and it just has like these weird, like this open volume of space. So a problem that you run into with like CNC mills is the first thing it tries to make a toolpath for that, it cuts the outside perimeter and just goes, there should be a space here, just goes and goes right into the build table.
Well, I'm looking forward to the they're out already, but the ones that have that other material that kind of fill in the gaps so that you can print things that aren't
support material.
Yeah. Like that. Watching those videos and just like you just pull that bitch out and like run some water over it and it melts the little stuff off.
Yeah, Stratasys,
like,
which used to be
actually pretty sweet. Like, well done, guys. Way to think that through.
I still like the reverse one, to where you have a pool of resin and then it uses the UV light, and as it raises up.
Well, the thing with like what we're talking about is like the printers that are made by companies like Stratasys, which used to be Objet, where it's the guys that formed that company are the ones that came up with the inkjet stuff for HP. So they approach 3D printing the same way. So you load your jugs of your different materials, and I think like the biggest Objet machine they have can support up to 8 materials at once.
Oh wow,
nice.
So it looks just like an inkjet printer head that it just runs these different materials, and it's everything from silicone, rubber, different plastics, support material, everything else. What was it? 6 years ago was the first time I saw one of these live in person. The company I worked for, the guy came and was showing us these machines to basically get us to run our entire production off of them. We were doing CNC mills with Delrin at the time, and a wily guest has entered the room.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're recording, so sit down, grab a mic, grab your headphones.
Otherwise, we
jump on
can't
here.
hear you.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just kind of floating there, and it's weird. It's creepy. Don't be creepy. Don't be creepy.
being creepy is bad.
Taiwan #1.
China #1.
I guess I gotta turn you up now. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
So the demo he did was he printed a car, and it had like a colored body, it had clear windows, it had moving parts for the engine and everything else, but it printed as one piece. So you print the entire thing, take it over to the water jet, spray water to rinse off all the sport material, and roll it, and it's done. It's a toy car. It's already done. Action figures with like articulating arms and everything else. You
like,
print it with the support material in between.
See that's what I want, so I can make my minis.
See, that could be the best boxcar racer ever.
Yeah.
Well, like think about it like a 3D printed like CO2 rocket car. That's like.
Does it print CO2?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay, I was about to say because like I'm getting one of them
because that was one of the projects that we had to do in engineering competitions in high school. Is that you had to make it was like balsa wood, but you had to make like a drag race car that ran on a string.
Wasn't
the
that
Pinewood
Boy Scouts?
Derby.
Yeah, balsa wood not support you, Cal.
But you put a CO2 cartridge in the back of it.
Oh no, ours was done by weights only.
Oh no, these you launch.
These you set there, and they're like leaning down, and then this person like lowers this lever, and they all start going down by gravity.
Yeah,
and then whichever one gets to the bottom first.
This was primarily an exercise in dealing with the constraints of like designing a competition car. So it had a lot to do with aerodynamics, friction, all those things.
This was Boy Scouts, or technically Cub Scouts. They're like, here's a block of wood and a knife. make a car, don't cheat,
Yeah.
and it can't weigh more than this.
Yeah, the year that we did this, the first year I did this, they weren't all that keen on safety, so they had a bunch of people standing at the end of the course.
Nice.
Of course, the string breaks and it launches a car directly into the forehead of someone standing at the end of the track.
Nice.
So, going forward, they had that area roped off from that point forward. So I like to say that I was there for that, watching someone get beaten in the head.
For you either, Neil, if they were telling you, giving you a block of wood and a knife as a kid.
Oh yeah.
It's really the safety of other kids if you're handing them a knife.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we all had to do it.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing too. Like I was carrying like a full X-Acto set in my backpack, like post Columbine. Think about that.
I had an X-Acto knife in my backpack all the time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually required in my neighborhood.
I think that kind of stuff was on like the school list in my junior high.
Yeah, on the you bring it.
Yeah, it was like you bring this to class because you're going to need one for.
I know we had to bring one for biology. We had
Yeah.
to bring our own to cut our frogs open.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was private school though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, they almost
Did
had us
ever-
bring our own frog. Like one day it was like, go catch a frog.
Just go catch a frog.
We'll soak it
Dude.
tonight.
I've got some big frogs in my backyard.
Yeah?
I thought one was a rabbit the other day. Like I haven't.
Does it have ears?
I haven't really mowed my yard too many times
Okay,
since
that's your
Jack's
problem
passed.
there.
And with all the water the way it's been, like the frogs in the backyard have been doing a great job of getting rid of all the insects. But at night, it's kind of loud because frogs. And the snakes have left the yard now because the frogs got bigger than the snakes. So I'm mowing and like I come around and I make my circle and I'm getting around to the other end and like I had already done 3 or 4 strips of 22-inch wide lawnmower. So we're looking at probably at least 65, 70 inches of low grass between 2 high patches.
Yeah.
And I'm about 15 feet from the end where I'm going to turn right and make another loop. And like I just see something jump from there, make it across all the low grass, and land like 2 feet in the high grass. But like it was a frog, and when it jumped, the backside kind of came up a little bit, so it looked like it had a little white tail, like a little bunny. But yeah, dude, they're
Sure, it wasn't his
So
nutsack?
you have a new goal. All right. Actually, there's going to be a group effort. I need you to 3D print bunny ears. And then I need you to catch the frog and put the bunny ears on the frog.
I've got like 5 pound frogs in my backyard. My neighbor has a 25-pound soft shell turtle in his backyard.
Yeah.
Someone took
Neil,
a
what you should
picture.
do is,
Soup.
what you should do is catch them, call me, and I will take it down to Bel Air, to Chinatown, and I'll get you a good price for them. And I'll tell you which restaurant not to eat at.
Someone took a picture. It was on the Houston subreddit. I believe it was on the Houston subreddit. In one of the bayous, but there is a 4-foot-long turtle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I didn't see that one.
4-foot-long turtle.
Oh, that's what I call my wang, yeah.
Turtle.
Turtle for the Turtle Club.
It's somewhere. It's somewhere.
Well,
But-
how about that anaconda?
Bad.
How about that anaconda in Buffalo Bayou? That was a nice Photoshop, huh?
Yeah. That had to be Photoshopped.
It had to be Photoshop. You see
It
how-
looked like exactly the. So
you see how
It looked like
blurry-
a ball python to me.
no, it looked like the one from the J. Lopez movie. Like I was like, I've seen that before, and I'm pretty sure she was standing on a boat in the background.
No, but you see how blurry it was?
Yeah.
Everything was real clear. That blurry. I mean,
Oh, it's because the water was splashing up on the snake.
dude. I mean, I've seen like those fake celebrity nude photos that are even better than that. And
Snake's
you
that's
have.
life
pretty
matters.
bad. Yeah, yeah. I've seen Hillary Clinton naked. I know it was Salma Hayek's lower
sorry.
body, but
What a tan line is that from the
Yeah.
waist down? At the waistline?
What?
So what, she wore a cover on her face and didn't cover anything below that.
Yeah.
What a hell of a tan line!
Did you see the number of pictures coming in for the Orion spacecraft as it's traveling to
Just
to Comicpalooza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone posted pictures of it being set up inside.
Yeah.
The what?
The Orion spacecraft.
Who does we have around a spacecraft?
Yeah. Do you know what the Orion spacecraft is?
Ryan as in Ryan Seacrest
Orion.
Orion?
Orion.
The Orion shuttle, the little capsule, actually.
Yeah.
It's the part. Is it the one that actually fell?
Yeah.
No, it's the new one that they're building.
Oh, okay.
It's essentially the little pods that come back
no,
down.
because they used to have one
parachutes.
at the NASA Space Center. You could go in when we went there on field trips.
This one, I mean, it only took one 18-wheeler to bring it in, and it's only
Well,
like
this is
15 feet
new.
across.
This is
cone?
Yeah, so this is a new one. I was
Yeah.
wondering if it was an old one that they're bringing in or a new one.
no, it's a new design. It was first put up in 2014.
Yeah.
I thought they stopped manned space travel already.
They did, but they're working on stuff because Russia's not always going to be so accommodating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Russia.
Yeah.
Mother Russia.
Russia number 7.
Well, at least they make great vodka. Or at least they're the biggest consumers of vodka.
Have you met Charlie?
Have I met Charlie?
A wild Charlie appears.
I don't know if I met Charlie.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
You should. Anybody that can roll out of a car drunk off his ass, and the first thing he asks a group of people is, "Whose car are we going to fight?"
Oh, I love that.
That's almost as bad as the guy that's making out with cars.
Oh yeah, we haven't had a My Strange Addiction night in a while. Those Chromecast nights.
Oh, yeah.
Have the wine.
So listen to this panel name. More Tales from the Dark Side, a deeper look into the making of unauthorized Disney documentaries.
Yeah, that got me excited because I saw Tales from the Dark Side. Then I saw the rest of it like, oh, you bastards.
Did y'all see the new guests that are coming to Comicpalooza?
But Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
different
that was,
Charlie.
He's going to get some PR for that.
yeah.
He probably already has. I mean, when Space City Con made national media on TMZ and the other news channels because of what happened, and he comes 2 weeks later at another one and eats part of the cost, yet no one knows who's doing
Yeah.
what. But yeah, he's gonna make national news.
Yeah,
on
someone at work was like, well, he had to save face from saying he'd never do a con again. I was like, he never said that. It's like he just apologized that he had to leave because of he wasn't going to put up with that. He still stayed longer than everyone else. So, but
Yeah, I mean that was pretty cool.
I'm actually like, I think that's a pretty respectful thing to do for the fans.
I just wonder how many of them there are. How many of those people are going to put up with now?
What, the Sons of Anarchy guys?
No, the people who bought the $900 Sons of Anarchy passes, they're going to be wearing
You
those
mean the
leather
16?
jackets.
Oh, yeah.
1600?
I've never seen so many brand new shiny leather jackets in my entire life.
Yeah.
Or little leather vests.
They all wanted him signed in white pen.
Yeah.
It's like, do it in red, blood. Come on. Have you seen the show?
Hey, so when is that Comicpalooza start? Is it this weekend?
Tomorrow.
Okay. Make sure, don't forget to ask Liza about Banshee.
Oh yeah, her autograph and her photo ops are the same price.
How much?
So I'm getting a
Holy
picture.
shit.
And how much is that?
$50.
But is she going to sign the picture?
$50 each or $50 for both?
Why do you need her to sign the picture? She's in it.
Because that way you can clone her.
You can't clone someone with their autograph.
If they
Yeah, you
sign
do.
it in blood.
No. Yeah, you can.
Have you seen the price of some of these? They're signing in blood. They got to be.
The opinions of Kyle have never not once ever
What you
encountered
do
science.
is you hand her your own pen and make sure that there's a needle sticking out of it. So when she grabs it, and she's like, "Ow!" Oh, don't worry about that.
You know this is recording, right? Like at some point, like this could like that
I'm sorry, Eliza. I still love you.
that shit counts
Come
as
back.
that shit counts as premeditation, dude.
Which means you can't do that. You got to think of something else.
Okay. Damn. I just rushed the stage.
I got to
That's
have you.
premeditation. Now that you said it, you got to not rush the stage.
I got
They
to
don't know who
have
I
you.
am.
Actually, I was pretty
I
happy
wait,
the other
wait.
day. I started going through all the lists, and they have the majority of the autograph prices up, the majority of the photo op prices up, and you can buy a lot of them pre-sale. So, unlike past cons, I don't really have to name any particular because it's been a handful of them. You have a very good idea of what you're going into prior to this con before
Yeah.
you get up there. And
It's really a con you can budget.
it's
Like,
surprisingly, if you look at the panels don't really reflect the number of stars that they have coming this time.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I don't like when you have a con that's exclusively just to get photos and autographs.
But if you look at the photo and autograph like time slots for those, like there has to be some unannounced panels. That's the only way I can think of. Maybe they're still finalizing because like the Is the main room full the entire time? Because I thought I saw some openings when I looked at it.
Well, I know on Saturday, 12:30 is Eliza, 2 o'clock is Aliens, and 5 o'clock is Kate Beckinsale. There may have been something between 2 and 5 that I didn't.
Kate Beckinsale too.
I didn't save.
I don't remember that.
But those are all General Assembly on Saturday, so I plan on hitting all 3 of those.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to attend as well.
And then there's
I'm gonna watch your recording.
on Sunday the Boondock Saints Q&A at 2 o'clock is the only one I have on the calendar yet.
Are y'all recording? Will y'all be recording over there?
I plan on taking gear. Well, I mean, you're talking about like recording the Q&As and the panels and stuff.
Well, when you go see Eliza, like I'll give you my GoPro, like the chesty chest where you can just put it on there and just record.
I want to see Neil in this chesty chest GoPro. I do. No. I really do.
No, you know what? I'm gonna give him a snowboarding helmet with the helmet mount.
No. Do the chesty chest and then just walk around going, "I am Iron Man." It'd be great.
Yeah, that would not be great.
I would laugh. I would literally follow you around instead of playing games.
I'll pay you. I'll even pay for your Eliza Dushku autograph photo op.
Anyway, you were going somewhere, I think.
No,
I'm
just
sorry. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there.
No. There's a lot of people here for a small number of panels. A small number of celebrity panels, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is kind of troublesome for me because I like that connection. I like listening and
I like hearing stories.
Yeah.
I like hearing stories. Like
exactly.
if you're going to a con just to get something signed,
which I've done before.
Yeah, I mean it's good on you, but like a story to me is worth so much more than an autograph.
Yeah.
Like, I saw you sign some shit, yay! But like, it's worth nothing to me after the fact.
I can do that on eBay.
Yeah,
right.
Like autographs are just not. They don't really hold high value to me.
Yeah.
That's me. I can't get down with that.
If it's signed in blood, I bet you will.
Sound blood. Oddly enough, one of the biggest, the fastest booms in any sports memorabilia.
What is that?
Right after the OJ Bronco chase, cards of his that were signed in red pen went through the roof on eBay.
Cards? Oh, like
trading cards.
Oh, okay.
Or not eBay, but what was it back then? It was before eBay. There was like all these sports collector magazines, like Beckett's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They specifically had a listing for O.J. Simpson autograph in red ink, and it was like 4 digits.
Wow.
It was skyrocketing
And that
depending
wasn't
on the
even
card.
enough to get him out of trouble.
No.
Because after he got away with murder, and then he ends up getting arrested for ecstasy ring and
That dude's been arrested a lot since then.
hacked satellite cards.
That was 94. That was 94 Rockets championship.
Yeah, he was a major player of hacked satellite cards in Florida or wherever. OJ.
Oh yeah, I was at getting my hair did, and they were playing some shit about
and the
on
last time
TVs.
and the last time he got arrested was at he stole some of his own memorabilia that he actually auctioned off already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Said no take back.
so they're apparently doing like 30 episodes of like a documentary for him on ESPN or something like that.
Okay,
30
are
for
you
30?
saying that 30 for 30 is not 30 episodes?
Yeah.
It's a single episode.
Yeah.
And
Then
Bill Simmons.
Why was there more than one? I got
And-
my hair cut towards the end of one and a new one started.
You sure you didn't fall asleep and they just rerun?
JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee.
Bill Simmons used to do the 30 for 30s. They used to be all like a 1 hour long about a single subject.
Yeah.
Um,
Even
I
I know
remember-
that.
But
and I'm
he
not even
left
into sports.
ESPN.
What,
has-
there's a show just about OJ now. I remember hearing.
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
not talking about a 30 for 30 on ESPN.
It's
Well, that's
it's-
the one
It's
I was
People
watching.
versus OJ.
Yeah, it's People
And
versus OJ
It's on
thing.
another channel.
Oh, okay, I was about to say you
Okay,
probably
so
watching
that's just
like
like a
True
new
It's like on
series.
FX, I think, or something like that.
Okay, well, I was
Yeah.
watching the 30 for 30, and I thought it was the one that I'd heard about that was like a series.
No, you were confused.
Was I? Okay. Well, I mean, I was getting my hair did, so the fumes and everything.
Sports clips?
Yeah.
Then you were watching the 30 for 30.
Yeah, I didn't make it over to the boardroom, so I just went there real
Yeah.
quick. It's like,
So, Donald Glover. Did you see the news about him this week?
Yeah, he's
is
gonna
that
be in
Danny
the
Glover's
Spider-Man.
brother?
Joining Spider-Man Homecoming. He is Troy from Community.
oh yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, so he's
I,
going to be joining the new Spider-Man movie, which after Civil War, I like the new Spider-Man kid. He's all right. So add Danny Glover to that and
Have you seen his
That'd be cool.
stand up
Danny or
on
Donnie?
Netflix?
I thought you said Donnie.
Donald.
Donald.
Donald Glover?
Yeah.
His
Dan-
stand-up?
Yeah, he's got a stand up
Oh,
on Netflix.
He's a comedian. He's
Yeah,
pretty funny
I was
too.
in
Comedian.
Comedian.
He's a comedian. He's a comedian. It sounds like he's a funny STD.
No,
That's
yeah, the
comedian.
comedian on you.
Comedians are the things that give you the force in the Star Wars universe, but they leave you like they randomly itch and burn every 30 days or so.
Have you not seen?
No, that's
his
the disease
stand-up?
you catch from the mic.
No, I haven't.
I'm surprised that at
That's
this
the disease
table
you
he's
catch
the one
from-
that has it.
Yeah.
No, I did
It's
not.
good. I
I did
watched
not
it.
know he was a comic.
I was not driving back from Tyler, but I watched it on the way back.
You don't have to watch comedy.
True.
Well, in a way you do if it's.
Well, I was listening to it. Someone else was watching it, and I was like, you should move that tab.
I listened to like 3.5 hours of Mitch Hedberg last week.
Mitch Hedberg, you definitely did not have to see him.
No. Like I was playing
Yeah.
a game on my computer and like the MP3 list that I was listening to went off and I was like just going through old MP3s and I came across a Mitch Hedberg folder. And I was like, play.
Do you ever go to Shipley's and they try to give you a receipt and you get sad
No.
because of Mitch Hedberg?
No.
Like every time that I buy donuts and they want to give me a receipt,
Or when you say
I get sad because I think of that joke. But then, like if I'm buying them for work and I need the receipt because of expense report, then I'm like conflicted. Like
I did it to a millennial at Buc-ee's.
Okay, I don't know
'Cause they
about
always
this-
ask you.
about this joke.
At Buc-ee's, they always ask you if you want a receipt because it's kind of like a request thing. You have to ask for a receipt. So there was some millennial behind the counter. And they're like, so you would like a receipt? I was like, there's no need to bring ink and paper into this. And just blank stare. I'm like, I hate your generation already. hate you so much.
it's so sad that you're grouping all the millennials.
Well, technically, I found out that apparently we're millennials.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Define
But
what
I'm
era
not.
is millennials.
Millennials.
depends on which Google website you go to.
There's
'Cause
only
I-
one Google website.
Because I'm either the Y generation
A person
or a
reaching
millennial.
a person reaching young adulthood around the year 2000.
Oh, I wasn't reaching young adulthood.
2000.
I graduated high school in 99.
I was 26 at
That's
the time.
that,
so
that counts you, bud.
Oh no, we had our own term for our year because it was the last year of
Yeah, y'all are the
Yeah.
sunscreen.
yeah. There was a song about sunscreen and everything.
Uh huh. I remember because I edited that horribly to play to someone else's because that's what they wanted.
Most researchers and commentators use birth years ranging from the early 1980s to around 2000. That's a big gap. That's a huge.
Yeah, but
no,
okay,
we
so
isn't-
classify people based on
yeah.
like a 7 to 8 year like thing.
Okay, so that
and I
means I'm not
thought
a millennial.
millennials was like a bigger stretch, but then you also had like the X and Y generation
I
in
think
the
lines
first part
get
of
They
that.
blurred.
started bumping that back. Like Generation X was apparently before me. That
Yeah.
got bumped back.
Because
Even
I
though
remember when I was a
remember that
kid, they're like,
clearly.
"You're Generation X," and then it was like, "You're Generation Y," because that's all y'all can ask. I was like, "Why?" And then apparently I'm a fucking millennial with you. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, well, they keep playing around with like the range of things. There was a really good 5-part miniseries called Generation X that I feel more in line with than anything that came after. You know, like that sort of defines what I kind of summarizes my experience growing up was everything that happened in that little miniseries.
I would say I'm not a millennial because fuck that. I'm a '90s kid because we're different. Like '90s kids in general are different.
Well, you got to think with the progress of technology, though, you can't lump in two groups of people that existed really before and after the popularity of the internet. You can't.
think about. I
Not
think,
even
I
the
think
internet, but like the
Windows NT should be the
technological
separator,
advance.
right?
Yeah.
If you're above the age of like 16 before Windows NT, then
Yeah.
That's-
like, dude,
that's the mark.
If you came onto the scene, like if you hit 3 years old and you were already past, I would say like the 16-bit era.
No, if you were 3 years old and you already have an iPad, that means that
Yeah.
you're.
if you
you're
had a
definitely
cell phone
different-
before you were in junior high,
That's a whole different ball game. That's a whole. Like,
well, just think about it. Like
you
like
can't
back-
lump those two
Yeah.
two eras together.
Well, just think about it, like back then, like the kids, like around my age or a little bit younger. I mean, like the only game console was what Odyssey 2, ColecoVision, and Television or Coleco.
actually,
And
that's,
then now they have what now they have game consoles that like would beat out most desktop computers.
so I think the way you should group it is if you ever
Based on
wanted one of
technology.
those neon pagers. If you ever wanted one of those, then you're not a millennial.
If you remember looking in a game magazine and you saw Neo Geo,
I remember that.
yeah, or TurboGrafx 16, Any one of the rarities that you knew you could never own in a million years because you saw the price tag next to it and you're like, I can't ask for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no way I can ask for that. And then if you remember going to Sears and seeing one of them on a display booth.
Your parents took you to Sears?
Yeah, all the time.
You're
We're at
so
Sears all the
lucky.
time. But we go to, like, second floor was game area. It was basically daycare. You just, like, you sat up there while the parents went and shopped all day, and you just owned, well, we made money off of it, but that's a different story.
How'd you buy that new game?
We hustled
Don't
kids
worry
for
about
quarters in Street Fighter for a free game that was on demo at Sears.
Yeah, see, for us, we were because we live so close to Greenspoint, so I mean there was a Sears there, so like
This was the
place to
Sears
hang
at
out.
Greenspoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Well.
maybe you hustled Stack.
no, I didn't play games there.
Yeah.
We stopped going to the Greens
I went
Point
to
Mall
Willowbrook.
when someone put a cigarette out on me when I was a kid.
That cigarette tasted funny.
I'm sorry, dude. Hey, I'm sorry. No, that was actually me.
We'll be announcing the date of the telethon for Neil soon.
Oh, that is good. That's good. Can we actually have one? I think it'd be fun. We could live stream it. We'll use like the Facebook live stream with 3CN, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
we'll
can.
just I'll watch a PBS special right before.
Yes.
just so I can get the tone right. Just when he was a young boy.
Yeah, I'll see if I'll see.
I want Sarah McLachlan's music to
Oh
be
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And just over it, like a really sad, like he's so traumatized.
Yeah, I'll make sure that iNexus 7 guy, whatever, that the one that was doing the PayPal troll for people on Twitch, like he donated over $50,000 through PayPal, and
that guy.
yeah, what he was gonna do was a month later, like he was gonna cancel it, whatever, and was it PayPal ended up saying, no, we're not gonna give you your $50,000 back. And come to find out, he used his mom's credit card.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I'll make sure he's clearing, and that way so he can donate a few.
We're gonna get copyright notice for this
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah,
Kyle
that's it,
broke
yeah.
it already. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like a time
If you
limit,
say
right?
save the puppies, they don't mess with you. Save the puppies.
We're gonna get copyright. Just take it off. Take it off.
I think we've done that before and we didn't get copyright because it's not the first
We've
time.
got
stop saying
copyright
co-
notices on
Well, stop
like
saying copyright notice. They might have they might have an algorithm to catch that.
Who has copyright notice copyrighted?
Stop.
We should.
Don't make me do like I did today. I just kept telling them stop. I ain't saying no names.
JaVale McGee.
Oh, yeah,
JaVale
Zach missed
McGee.
That's good. Can we play that? That's not a copyright notice. That's already on YouTube.
ESPN.
Well,
Oh, those an ESPN posted that, or is that
No,
like,
no, it was all clips from ESPN. So
That guy didn't get taken
technically
down.
clips
What,
from
the Sarah
NBA
McLachlan
TV,
song is
but,
the ESPN
whatever it
copyright?
is, it's some sportsman
wait.
that's owned by some giant broadcasting conglomerate.
What, the Sarah McLachlan song?
No, we're talking about basketball.
Keep up.
Shit, man.
Sorry, I need to recharge my hoverboard. I bought one of the cheap ones that's on fire right now.
Oh yeah, I saw a kid going to the movies, and this whole half of the podcast is just angry old men bitching about kids. But I saw a kid on a hoverboard, and I just really at the movie theater, like
Inside
bitch,
the movie theater?
Yeah, inside the movie theater. Like, bitch, you can't walk 60 feet to your seat. You got a hoverboard to your seat. Seriously?
Okay, because
That's awesome.
because I haven't seen a lot of these. Like I see them around the neighborhood a little bit, but I haven't tried anything out yet. Will the stick do the same thing it did with the bike? Like,
Oh, yeah.
If you throw it in front, you're good. Like I can still win.
Depending on which one it is.
Yeah, the radius of the wheels is not that big, and they're harder material wheels.
Hell, at the
so
theater-
What about like the little like popsicle sticks? If I throw like 10 of them,
No, I was thinking like if you went,
yeah.
no, if you went to the theater, you should have bought those.
So I'm trying to think of something mobile.
No,
I
you
can
should
put in
have
my
bought.
pocket.
No, you should have bought those peanut M&Ms and just toss it right in front of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
because
something
like
that
a little
small.
pebble. Like I used to skateboard, so a little pebble would knock your ass over.
Oh yeah,
off of
yeah.
a
Well, no,
skateboard.
in my luck though, like I huck a bunch of peanut M&Ms on the floor. The kid gets all tripped up and falls. And he's like, "My peanut allergy." Then it's murder,
No.
Raisins.
He's protected by
or it's attempted
by
murder.
a thin candy shell.
Yeah,
Now, how
it,
about
does,
those?
it doesn't melt in your hand, but it melts in your eyes, bitch.
No, how about those jawbreakers?
Oh, I can't wait for them
Yeah.
to use that one.
Now get the jawbreakers that way, so there's no like peanut allergy.
I was thinking, to go back to Mitch Hedberg. I was in a very Mitch Hedberg feel in my head when I said this, because I saw candy. And I was like, how come there's no Sour Patch adults? Why can't we let these sour ass kids grow up?
That because they would smell like Ben Gay and Pearl.
You have to go to the sex store to get those.
Oh.
That's
not a fruit roll up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sour Patch adults ruined.
I'm done.
Oh, we can't end like that. We can't end like that, guys.
Well, actually, let me give a shout out. Since earlier this week, my favorite aunt just passed away. So I just want to say, we miss you, we love you, and you're in a better place now. Nang Luang Pak Di. We love you.
For sure, man.
Thank you, man.
Sorry to hear about that, man.
Nah, it's okay, dude. It's it happens.
Yeah. It's been the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been like you think it's all celebrities, but
Yeah, it seems
it seems like it's hitting multiple families. That I know
it seems
too.
like the house of Luang Pak Di keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, sorry to hear about that, man.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. We just think about it too. Like a year ago, we were talking about Penny Smith.
Yeah.
And it was one of my good friends. His daughter got cancer, and passed away like around the weekend of Comicpalooza, or just before. And so
they had the car out there.
Yeah, some guy who was showing he has a Mach 5 replica, and he was showing it at the convention. But all the proceeds for that went to support the family.
Speed Racer, right?
Yeah, Speed Racer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I put so many people. I pointed at that car. I was like, "Go there."
Yeah.
Look at it. It's like Speed Racer.
I used to love watching that.
Be like, I bet you, she's in the car. You just got to look, but you got to pay to do that.
Trixie.
Yeah. I like the movie. I do.
I never
Most
watched.
people
I never
said
saw
I
the
hate
movie.
it. I got it on Blu-ray. I got it on DVD. I got it on streaming. Like, that's I
you
don't know
watch-
what
That's a
it
lot
is.
of things.
I like
Yeah.
that movie.
That's a lot of
you like
things.
the
He's got it on
actor.
Betamax in his closet.
Shh, that's mine.
No, laser.
I got it on laser. Exactly.
All right. Well, I guess before we bounce out of here, considering you're the working man for this con, you're kind of doing your enrollment for this the Men in Black.
Yeah.
Yes.
What-
Don't forget the chesty chest.
The chesty chest.
I have it in the car.
Are you gonna be doing more with Munchkin and stuff like that over the course of the weekend, or
More
is
than
that
likely.
the only event
That's the only one that I'm signed up for
in an official capacity?
in an official capacity.
Okay.
And it's really more my tryout than anything else. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be in the game room. If they want me to run a game, I'll run a game. And if we got people to want to run a game, I can run one. Garcia's going to be there. You can run one too. So, yeah.
I could see you being like one of like the really entertaining.
I could be.
The-
Depends
the-
on if I like the people or not.
Like I'm talking like one of the oddball guys that you get at like Sunday 3 a.m. at the Excalibur running the craps tables. That's just
yeah.
entertaining as shit. You don't even know why. Like, where was this guy yesterday when it was busy?
Yeah. But
He was
I'll be in the
getting
game room a
trashed
little
down the
bit.
street. That's why.
So I think one of us will probably always be in the game room. If not one of us, then one of the extended little guys, Garcia, he'll be in there. So
Do you know what Garcia's coming in costume as?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's gonna be fun.
Y'all should drop by and see him. But I just thought of an idea.
But no
So-
one knows what he's going to be because
I
you
do.
haven't said what he's going to be.
Yeah, I know. You
Hopefully
got to
not-
come see him.
Yeah, hopefully he's not wearing chainmail.
But how you're going to a place where almost everyone's in costume? How the hell are you going to spot him?
It's Garcia.
What'd you look for?
Like really, look for the
He's
biggest
at the Steve Jackson game table.
Mhm, there you go. In costume.
The one in costume is Steve Jackson, and he's fat.
Yeah.
So look for the fat guy in a costume.
We rolling the dice that he's going to be the only fat dude in costume at this con?
at the Steve Jackson
Okay,
game table.
You know his name. Be like Garcia. He's gonna answer. Just scream Garcia till a fat uniformed person turns around and says hi.
Not
Or-
really a uniform.
It could be a uniform
it's
if
really
two people
more like
had
a
it.
garbage bag.
It is.
Garcia
It
is a common last name.
I don't even know the name.
I know you're not supposed to point that out.
That's like
I was
walking.
like,
Well, then,
I was like, I want to be in the game room.
Call
so
him by his
walk
first
in.
name. Just call him. It's Chris.
yeah, that's not. That's less unique, or more unique. That's like walking into like a Chinese restaurant down Bel Air and say, "Is there a Lee in here?" Win. Trend.
There's a kids movie that has a big inflatable white guy. He's gonna be that big inflatable white guy. I don't know enough about
Big
kids
Hero
movies
6.
Big
Hero 6.
That
I haven't seen the movie. I'm supposed to go watch it with Dawson.
He's going to be
but
that.
Not as terrifying as the latex Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that walked in the bathroom on me
I love
at
that story.
Comicpalooza last year.
Well, that's the funny thing. I think we can draw on his suit without him knowing.
No. I want to put a hole in it, just like a small.
I want to bring some Nutella.
So that way he just.
He couldn't reach it.
I got stickers. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
Damn, he's gonna listen to
Hey,
this.
y'all dressing up to the
So-
to the con?
No,
No.
not this
No.
year.
Dude,
So
you-
for
Make
our
sure you
listeners
get the
though,
T-Rex suit.
if you comment on our Facebook, for everyone that comments, I'm going to draw a name from everyone that comments between now and Saturday night at Comicpalooza. Let's say 6 o'clock, and y'all are getting something random out of this room that I find. Just saying.
If
Yeah.
you want,
Like
if
y'all are
you
getting
want some random,
geeky stuff in
If
this
you want
room.
some shit Kyle wants to get rid of, like comment on our Facebook.
It'll probably be something that,
Well, there's
that
some
I actually
double stick
want,
tape
but someone
there.
else wants it, and I want to be able to tell them that I gave it away.
oh brave listeners,
Yes.
if you want some shit from Kyle's house,
All
The
right,
geek
sure.
room specifically. The geek room specifically.
and you
Okay,
made
here, let
it
me point
this
some
far.
of the stuff out. Was it pull chalk, double stick tape?
There's
It's
a
gonna be
lot of
from that-
trash.
it's gonna be from that
There's a
side.
lot of garbage.
That's boxes. It's not going to be a box. It's geeky.
An old
there's-
inkjet printer.
It's geeky.
There's a Febreze bottle with a Mike Foamy on top.
Yeah.
Um,
An old CRT TV.
Let's get the hell out of here. What are we doing?
All right, we're done.
We're done.
I need more wine.
And
Thanks,
to all a
guys.
good night. See y'all at Comicpalooza.
Yeah.
This is the pre-con freakout show.